Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? Hope you all are fine and having the good health. I'm your teacher, Mrs. Madiha Ashraf. Welcome to all of you in General Science class 8th. Students, we were doing chapter number 5, that is, where does our food come from? And our today's topic is recycling in nature. Recycling in nature includes recycling in an ecosystem, carbon cycle, and nitrogen cycle. Let's recap. The food chain is given to you. What does it shows? It shows the flow of energy from one organism to another, or simply it is the pathway of that shows the flow of energy. If you observe this food chain that start from producers, recall what are producers. Producers are green plants that take sunlight, absorb water and minerals, and prepare their food by a process that is named as photosynthesis. When these producers are eaten by consumer, then the energy that was the part of producer's body, now it flow from producer to the consumer along the food chain, whether it is primary consumer, secondary or tertiary, or final consumer is there. But what happened when all they die, whether these are plant or animals? When they die, they are attacked by decomposers. Decomposers break down their body into the nutrients and give it to the soil. Got it? Now, from this, do answer their question. Where do producers take in nutrients? Well, you know that producers take in the nutrient from the soil. Then the next question that comes in our mind, that who release the nutrient into the soil? Naturally. These are when the plants or animals die, they are decomposed by living organism named as decomposers. So these decomposers release the nutrient into the soil. And we have also discussed in detail that whenever the soil is deficient in the nutrient, then we may add the nutrients artificially, that was by adding the fertilizers. So how is the matter reused in an ecosystem? When the organisms die, then where they go? There is the role of decomposers. Decomposers, what they do? They decompose or break down the bodies, dead bodies, waste or dead organisms. And their decomposition allows the nutrient to be returned into the soil and atmosphere. So that is how nutrients are reused naturally. What? When the plants grow, they take in the nutrient from the soil. But when they die, then their body release the nutrient back to the soil. So that is named as reused. What decompose the dead organisms or the organic matter, these are called decomposers. What are the examples of decomposers? Decomposers include fungi, bacteria, and some invertebrates also. Look at this picture. Mushrooms you have observed. Where they grow? They grow usually on the dead organic matter or on waste also. So here we will see that how matter is reused in an ecosystem. Again we will see what is a decomposer. Can you define? Yes, we can define a decomposer. Decomposer is a creature or organism that break down organic matter. Organic matter such as dead animals and plant material. Some commonly known decomposers are shown here. These are mushroom, these are example of fungi. Some bacteria and some worms are shown. What they do? They just break down the waste or the organic matter, dead animals or dead plants. So that's why these are named as decomposers. What they do? They break down the organic matter, dead animals and plant. Now think about if there is no decomposer in our environment, what will happen? The things will not rotten. They will not end up. Right? So there is a very, very important role of the decomposers to convert the organic waste into the useful nutrient which is released or absorbed by the soil and then taken up by the producers. Now, saprophytic organisms, what are they? Their second name of decomposer you can say also. We can define the certain type of organisms that do not prepare their food by photosynthesis, or they do not eat plants, they do not eat animals, but they feed on dead organic matter. They feed on dead organic matter such as rotting leaves or wood. They are named as saprophytic. Sapro mean dead and phytic mean nutrients. So what are the saprophytic organisms? Those organisms that feed on dead organic matters. Can you name? Yes, you are able to name. We have discussed in previous slide also. Saprophytic organisms are also called decomposers. These are bacteria. These are fungi, and examples of fungi are mushroom and toadstools. From where they take the food? They take the food from the dead things. So that's why we can call them as saprophytic organisms. Now we have defined the decomposers or saprophytic organisms and their role in an ecosystem. Now we will see the recycling in an ecosystem, that how the nutrients are supplied from non-living soil to the living things like plant, and then so on along the food chain, and then how it is reused again and again. So recycling can be defined as re mean again. So this is the self-explanatory term. In science, the terms are self-explanatory. They give some meanings like re mean again and cycling. Cycling a process that start and ends on the same point. Means कि वो जहां से start होगा वहीं पर वो end होता है. उसको हम क्या कहते हैं? Cycling. So recycling an ecosystem involves the following steps. Let's see these steps. Number one, is the transfer of nutrient from soil to producers. Transfer of nutrient from where to where? From soil to producers. Producers take the nutrient from the soil. And then these nutrients are transferred from producers to the consumer. And third step is after the death of producer and consumers, decomposers attack on the dead organic matter. The fourth step, they start decaying. Organic matter start decaying. And finally, they convert to the nutrient and transfer of the nutrient to the soil. Look at the first step. We have taken the start from the soil. Look at the last step. We end up on the soil. So, this type of the process is named as the recycling. Now, we will see or we will draw the recycling. How? The first point is the soil that contain minerals, nutrients and humus. Producers or the green plants, they have to make their food by the process of photosynthesis. So, they absorb water, nutrients or salt from the soil and also take up the light from sun and do the process of photosynthesis to prepare their food. When these producers are eaten up by consumers or animals, then these nutrients or this energy become the part of animals or consumers' body. After the death, when the producers or consumers die, their bodies are attacked by decomposers. What are decomposers? Bacteria and fungi are the decomposers, which break down the body of plants and animals. Then they start decaying. The decaying of this matter converts them to the again minerals or the nutrients and absorbed by the soil. So this process continue in a cycle or reused. So that's why it is named as recycling in an ecosystem. This happens naturally. This happens naturally, automatically in our atmosphere or in our environment. Now we will see another type of this recycling or the carbon cycle that also occur naturally. What is carbon? Carbon is an essential element that is the part of living organisms, plants, animals and also the humans. Is carbon present in our atmosphere? Yes, it is present. In which form it is present? It is present in the form of a gas that is named as carbon dioxide gas. Where this gas comes from? How carbon dioxide comes in the atmosphere? So there are two life processes that maintain the level of carbon dioxide. But first you have to answer how this carbon dioxide comes from. During the process of respiration, when the living organism respire, they produce a gas that is named as carbon dioxide gas. And other ways also there, that is the process of burning. When we burn the things like coal, gas, they also produce a gas that is named as carbon dioxide gas. So the two life processes maintain the level of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere. Why we are discussing here the oxygen? Because oxygen and carbon dioxide both are utilized and produced in the two process like photosynthesis and respiration. In photosynthesis, plants use the carbon dioxide and produce the oxygen gas. While in respiration, we use oxygen gas and exhale the carbon dioxide gas. So in this way, these two processes balance the level of two gases. What these two gases are? These are carbon dioxide gas and oxygen gas. Now we will define the carbon cycle. How we will define it? It can be defined as a process in which carbon travels from atmosphere to organisms, atmosphere to organism and earth, and then back into the atmosphere. It involves the following processes or the steps. These are: number 1, photosynthesis; number 2, respiration; number 3, decay; number 4, fossilization; and number 5 is the combustion. There is a simple diagram for carbon cycle that illustrate these processes. The first step, carbon dioxide, its formula is CO2. This gas is taken up by a process that is named as photosynthesis, used to prepare the food by plants. When plants respire in absence of light or in night, this gas is reproduced. In photosynthesis, this gas is utilized, while in respiration, this gas is produced. Similarly, if animals do the respiration, this gas is also produced. And the third process in which this gas is produced, that is named as combustion. When we burn something, the carbon dioxide gas is produced. And what about when the plants or the animals die? Their dead bodies are attacked by decomposers, and they can produce a carbon dioxide, or the dead plants may buried for many of the years under the layer of rocks or soil. Temperature, pressure changes on them and converts them into the fossils. So this process is named as the fossilization. That happens under the suitable conditions. When plants die, they may become the fossils, or they may be attacked by the decomposers. When they are composed or attacked by decomposers, then also a gas is produced that is named as the carbon dioxide gas. So carbon dioxide gas is produced during respiration, whether these are by plants or animals, and during combustion or during burning process. And where it is used, in which process carbon dioxide is used? It is used in photosynthesis. Now we will divide or explain the carbon cycle step by step. The first step, what does it shows? The night time is there. Carbon enters the atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide. From which process? When we do the respiration or when we burn the things, or the process is named as combustion. In night, plants do not prepare the food, or the process of photosynthesis stops and the respiration starts. And animals also respire, and if the things are burned at home or in factories, then they also produce the carbon dioxide. So the first step is showing you that carbon dioxide is entering into the atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide gas. The second step, the arrow is gone, blue arrow is showing gone away from atmosphere to the plants. It means the carbon dioxide is utilized by plants. Carbon dioxide is absorbed by the producers in photosynthesis and during photosynthesis and other gas is produced, that gas is named as the oxygen gas. When the plants take up the carbon dioxide, they produce an other gas that is named as the oxygen gas. So the second step shows that carbon dioxide is now utilized by the producers in a process of photosynthesis. The third step, what does it shows? Animals feed on plant. Animals feed on plants, and this passing the carbon along the food chain, because this carbon dioxide was directly absorbed or taken up by the plants. When these plants are eaten by the consumers, then this becomes the part of their body also. So the carbon passes along the food chain. Most of the carbon these animals consume, however, is exhaled as carbon dioxide. When do the respiration process, then they exhale the carbon dioxide gas. And eventually, after the death, what happened? See the fourth step. Finally, if the plants or animal die or the dead matter is there, then these are decomposed by the decomposers. So carbon from the dead matter enter to the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. Look at this. This is the dead bird. So whenever these are decomposed by decomposers, then they release the carbon dioxide gas. But some of the dead matter like dead plants are there, maybe they are not decomposed by decomposers, but they remain buried under the different layer of the soil. So under suitable conditions, they may become the fossils. They may convert into the coal or the gas. So whenever they are used, fossils are used in the burning process, that is process is named as combustion. This process also produces the gas that is named as the carbon dioxide gas. So this is how the carbon from atmosphere enter to the living organisms, and then these are used by them and again convert back to the atmosphere. So that is why it is named as the carbon cycle. The carbon cycle can be illustrated in this flow sheet diagram. Carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, it is used in the process of photosynthesis by plants. When plants die, then attacked by the decomposers. If they are decomposed, then they also release the carbon dioxide, the air go upward. Right? But if the plants are eaten by the animals, there is a feeding relationship between them. So then carbon also become the part of the animals. When they do respiration, they also produce the carbon dioxide gas. So the arrow start from animals and go to the atmospheric carbon dioxide. During which process? During respiration. Plants also do the respiration, so they also produce the carbon dioxide. So arrow also go from plants to the atmosphere during the process of respiration. When animals dies, they are decomposed by decomposers. Then decomposers also produce the gas that is named as the carbon dioxide gas. So carbon dioxide gas comes in the atmosphere by the two processes that is named as respiration and decomposition. While from atmosphere into the environment, how it enters? By the process of photosynthesis. There is one other process that is named as the fossilization. When the plants fossil are burnt, like we burn the coal. So when fossils are burned, during burning process, which gas is produced? That is named as the carbon dioxide gas. So that's why this is named as the carbon cycle. Carbon goes into the atmosphere and then come back to the atmosphere. So there is the relation between the different processes that photosynthesis utilize the carbon dioxide, while respiration and burning, these processes produce the carbon dioxide. So you have to draw this carbon cycle by your own with proper labeling and learn the steps also. How we can summarize the whole process? This picture makes you more clear about the carbon cycle. Carbon is present in the form of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It is used in photosynthesis to produce carbohydrate. What are the carbohydrates? These are the food like glucose that is prepared by plants. So when plants respire, which gas is produced? That gas is named as carbon dioxide. Where this gas goes? It goes into the atmosphere. What happens when these plants are eaten by animals? When these plants are eaten by animals, then carbon also become the part of their body, and when they respire, then they also release the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. When plants and animals die, they are attacked by the decomposers, or decaying matter also produce the carbon dioxide. While if the plants converts to the fossils, then coal, oil, petrol, when these are burnt, whether in vehicles, whether at homes or in factories, they release a gas that is named as carbon dioxide gas, during which process, that process is named as combustion or burning process. So this gas is released into the atmosphere. So this is the end of our today's lesson. Now you have to do the following assignment. First of all, related test yourself is there, page number 71. Question 1 to 4. You have to solve these questions on your notebook, neat notebook. I'm giving you the hint how to solve these or how to answer these questions. You can describe in your own words also. I will appreciate those students who will use their own description. Just take the hints from here. Question number 1, name the two saprophytic organisms. We have discussed in detail saprophytic organisms. Just name are there in the question, so you can write mushrooms or the toadstools. What do saprophytes feed on? What they eat? Sapro mean rotten and phytes mean nutrient. So saprophytes feed on dead and decaying things. For example, leaves or rotting wood. Question number 3, how living plants and animals maintain level of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We have discussed this in detail also. That the two life process, what were these life process? These were photosynthesis and the respiration. Both are opposite to one another. In photosynthesis, carbon dioxide gas is used and oxygen is produced, while in respiration, oxygen is used and carbon dioxide is produced. So these two processes balance the level of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So plants take in carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. This oxygen is used by animal in respiration and they breathe out the carbon dioxide. So that's how these two processes maintain the level of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Question number 4. Why burning of fossil fuel can lead to increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? You know, when we burn something or the process of combustion is there, carbon dioxide gas is produced. If there is more and more of the burning on the earth, then what will happen? The carbon dioxide gas will increase. With the reference to the carbon cycle, fossil fuels. What are the fossil fuels? These are the remains of plants. So fossils are dead remaining of plants. They no longer pick up the carbon dioxide. One thing, they no longer pick up the carbon dioxide. So they not produce the oxygen also, because there is no process of photosynthesis in the dead plants. Understood? But the burning fossil fuels are burnt, so their burning produce the carbon dioxide. So it means the level or the amount of carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere when fossil fuels are burnt. Now what you have to practice? You have to practice the both cycles which we have discussed today. We have drawn and explained the recycling in an ecosystem and carbon cycle. You have to practice the both label diagrams and then you have to submit your work. That's all about today's lesson. Thank you, students. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.